Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're talking about an AI that's doing something, well, something that should be impossible. It's revolutionizing some of the world's biggest industries from the inside out. So let's just jump right in with a question that, honestly, sounds like a complete riddle. How can companies that are fierce rivals work together to build one brilliant AI without ever sharing their secret data? I mean, in a world where data is basically gold, how do you build a smarter system without giving away your treasure? Well, the answer lies in completely rethinking how AI learns in the first place. And believe me, the stakes here are absolutely massive. By 2030, we're looking at 40 billion connected industrial devices. Just think about that for a second. That's factory sensors, medical equipment, entire power grids, all of them generating this absolute tsunami of incredibly valuable and, of course, super sensitive data. And this creates what we call the industrial data paradox. It's this huge roadblock to innovation. You see, companies need this data to get smarter, to become more efficient, but they can't risk sharing it. I mean, the chance of exposing trade secrets or getting hit with massive privacy fines, it's too great. All right, so let's dig into this a little deeper. This industrial data paradox. So here's the dilemma in a nutshell. Data is this incredible strategic asset, right? It's the fuel you need to optimize everything. But it's also a huge liability if it gets out. You're talking about losing your intellectual property, your secret sauce. And then there are the massive regulatory fines, things like GDPR and HIPAA. So the old idea of just, sending all your data to a central cloud, for a lot of these companies, that's just way too risky and way too expensive. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it takes a whole new way of thinking, a new learning paradigm. What if, instead of bringing all that data to the AI, you did the exact opposite? And that's the core idea behind federated learning. It's this really elegant flip of the traditional model. Instead of moving the data, you move the AI. The AI model is sent out to the data, out to the factories, out to the hospitals, wherever it lives. The model learns right there on site, and the raw data itself, it never, ever leaves. It stays completely secure. And this opens the door to something really cool, a concept called coopetition. You cooperate on building the intelligence, but you still compete on the final product. Think about it. Fierce rivals can now work together to build one massively powerful AI that makes the entire industry better, all without giving away any of their secrets. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts. How does federated learning actually work? How does this thing get smarter if it never sees all the data in one place? It's a really clever process, actually. The best way to think about the architecture is like a skyscraper, with 4 different layers, each one built for a specific job. Right down at the ground floor, you have the mist. This is where high-frequency sensors are just grabbing data. We're talking less than a millisecond. A step up, you have the edge. This is where the local model training happens, right there on the factory floor. Then you have the fog layer, which is kind of like a regional office, gathering all the learnings from a single site. And finally, way up at the top, you have the cloud, which acts as the global headquarters orchestrating the whole show. And this whole thing runs on a simple but powerful 4-step cycle. First, the central server sends out a starting global AI model. Step 2, each factory or device trains that model on its own private data. Then, and this is the key part, only the improvements, not the data, just the learnings, are sent back, and they're fully encrypted. Finally, the central server takes all those little updates, combines them to create a much smarter global model, and then the whole cycle starts all over again, getting smarter and smarter each time. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but the real world is, well, it's messy. The data coming from one factory could look totally different from another. You might have different machines, different environments, you name it. A simple model can get really confused by this chaos. It's like trying to have a conversation where everyone is speaking a slightly different dialect. That's where more advanced algorithms, like something called scaffold, come into play. It basically acts like a universal translator. It corrects for all those differences, what we call client drift, and it lets the model learn from all that diverse, skewed data. And the result? You can see a boost in accuracy of over 13%. Okay, enough theory. Let's talk about how this is actually being used in the real world. We've got 2 incredible examples, smarter factories and better medicine. First up, let's go to the super high-stakes world of making computer chips. In this business, a tiny improvement, we're talking a 1% increase in yield, can mean an extra $150 million in profit. It's just staggering.
And this is that co-opetition idea in the flesh. You have multiple competing factories working together to train a single AI to spot these microscopic defects on silicon wafers. By doing this, they're hitting 98.78% accuracy, way better than any one of them could achieve on their own. And what's really cool, they use explainable AI, so engineers can actually see why the model made a certain decision. That builds a ton of trust.
Okay, so that's manufacturing. Now let's switch gears to medicine, specifically drug discovery. And the impact here is just as mind-blowing. This chart comes from a huge project called Melody, and it shows you pretty clearly the federated model just blows the individual models out of the water when it comes to speed. So what happened here? 10 of the biggest pharmaceutical giants, these are fierce competitors, remember, they all collaborated. They trained a shared AI on a library of over 10 million different molecules, and none of them had to reveal their private research data. The result was insane. They could identify promising new drug candidates 40% faster. That's not just saving millions of dollars per company. More importantly, it means life-saving drugs can get to the people who need them so much faster. All right, so where does all this go from here? The future is decentralized, and what we've talked about so far, that's just the beginning. It's the foundation for what's coming next. So as we look towards 2030, we're going to see this technology explode. Imagine massive language models trained for specific industrial tasks, but without sharing any trade secrets. Or think about swarm intelligence. One excavator on a construction site learns a better way to dig in rocky soil, and instantly that knowledge is shared with the entire fleet of excavators around the world. We're also moving beyond just predicting when a machine will fail to actually understanding the root cause of a problem across a massive global supply chain. And that really brings us to the final big question. When our machines can learn from everyone's experience without violating anyone's privacy, what problems are we going to solve next? This isn't just a clever bit of tech. It's a whole new way to collaborate, to innovate, and to build a smarter future together. The potential is, well, pretty much limitless.